Did you hear that one, he asked them, about Mulcahy from the Coombe? I did not, Martin Cunningham said. They bent their silk hats in concert, and Hines inclined his ear. The caretaker hung his thumbs in the loops of his gold watch chain and spoke in his discreet tone to their vacant smiles. They tell the story, he said, that two drunks came out here one foggy evening to look for the grave of a friend of theirs. They asked for Mulcahy from the Coombe and were told where he was buried. After traipsing about in the fog, they found the grave, sure enough. One of the drunks spelt out the name, Terence Mulcahy. The other drunk was blinking up at a statue of our Saviour the widow had got put up. The caretaker blinked up at one of the sepulchres they passed. He resumed. And after blinking up at the sacred figure, not a bloody bit like the man, says he. That's not Mulcahy, says he. Whoever done it? Rewarded by smiles, he fell back and spoke with Corny Kelleher, accepting the dockets given him, turning them over and scanning them as he walked. That's all done with a purpose, Martin Cunningham explained to Hines. I know, Hines said, I know that. To cheer a fellow up, Martin Cunningham said, is pure good-heartedness. Damn the thing else. Mr. Bloom admired the caretaker's prosperous bulk. All want to be on good terms with him. Decent fellow, John O'Connell. Real good sort. Keys. Like Keys' ad. No fear of anyone getting out. No pass-out checks. Habeas corpus. I must see about that ad after the funeral. Did I write Ballsbridge on the envelope I took to cover when she disturbed me writing to Martha? Hope it's not chucked in the dead letter office. Be the better of a shave. Grey sprouting beard. That's the first sign when the hairs come out grey, and temper getting cross. Silver threads among the grey. Fancy being his wife. Wonder how he had the gumption to propose to any girl. Come out and live in the graveyard. Dangle that before her in my thriller first, Courting Death. Shades of night hovering here with all the dead stretched about, the shadows of the tombs when churchyards yawn. Daniel O'Connell must be a descendant, I suppose. Who is this used to say he was? A queer breedy man, great Catholic all the same, like a big giant in the dark. Will-o'-the-wisp, gas of graves. Want to keep her mind off it to conceive at all. Women especially are so touchy. Tell her a ghost story in bed to make her sleep. Have you ever seen a ghost? Well, I have. It was a pitch dark night. The clock was on the stroke of 12. Still, it'd kiss all right if properly keyed up. Whores in Turkish graveyards learn anything if taken young. You might pick up a young widow here. Men like that. Love among the tombstones. Romeo, spice of pleasure. In the midst of death we are in life. Both ends meet. Tantalizing for the poor dead. Smell of grilled beefsteaks to the starving, gnawing their vitals. Desire to grig people. Molly wanting to do it at the window. 8 children he has anyway. He's seen a fair share go under in his time, lying around him, field after field. Holy fields. More room if they bury them standing. Sitting or kneeling you couldn't. Standing. His head might come up some day above ground in a landslip with his hand pointing. All honeycombed the ground must be, oblong cells. And very neat he keeps it too, trim grass and edgings. His garden Major Gamble calls Mount Jerome. Well, so it is. Ought to be flowers of sleep. Chinese cemeteries with giant poppies growing produce, the best opium, Mastiansky told me. The botanic gardens are over there. It's the blood sinking in the earth gives new life. Same idea those Jews, they said, killed the Christian boy. Every man his price. Well-preserved fat corpse, gentleman, epicure, invaluable for fruit garden, a bargain, by carcass of William Wilkinson, auditor and accountant, lately deceased, £3.13 with thanks. I dare say the soil would be quite fat with corpse manure, bones, flesh, nails. Charnel houses, dreadful, turning green and pink, decomposing, not quick and damp earth. The lean old ones tougher, then a kind of a tallowy, kind of a cheesy, then begin to get black treacle oozing out of them, then dried up. Death moths. Of course the cells, or whatever they are, go on living, changing about, live forever practically. Nothing to feed on themselves. But they must breed a devil of a lot of maggots. Soil must be simply swirling with them. Your head it simply swirls, those pretty little seaside girls. He looks cheerful enough over it, gives him a sense of power seeing all the others go under first. Wonder how he looks at life. Cracking his jokes too, warms the cockles of his heart. The one about the bulletin. Spurgeon went to heaven 4 a.m. this morning, 11 p.m. closing time. Not arrived yet, Peter. The dead themselves, the men anyhow, would like to hear an odd joke, or the women to know what's in fashion. A juicy pear Our Lady's punch, hot, strong and sweet. Keep out the damp. You must laugh sometime, so better do it that way. Grave diggers in Hamlet. Shows the profound knowledge of the human heart. Daren't joke about the dead for 2 years at least. De mortuis nil nisi prius. Go out of mourning first. Hard to imagine his funeral. Seems a sort of joke. Read your own obituary. Notice they say you live longer. Gives you second wind. New lease of life.